Right. Jeyza, welcome to Model Talk Thursdays. Thank you so much for being on with us again. I'm super excited to catch up with you and hear what you've been doing. How are you today?
I'm good. A little sleepy. But
No. I know you, is it like you had some exams last week or a couple of weeks or yes, kind of tell
yeah,
me what's going on
um,
with your yeah.
is our spring break. So like we had a lot of exit things to do before spring break. And now I'm, in New York, working and portfolio building on spring break. So it's kind of like back to back to back. So yeah.
No, I feel you. Awesome. And hey, Yvonda, thank you for tuning in. So, Jeyza, for those that don't know you, since this is a new semester of students, I would love for you to start from the beginning in terms of where you're from, and then we'll build from there.
Okay. Well, my name is Jeyza Gary. I am from a little tiny town called Carthage, North Carolina. I currently go to school in Charlotte, North Carolina at UNC Charlotte. I'm studying health systems management. And as some of you might guess, I also model. So I'm doing both of those things in tandem.
Awesome. So I know when we talked last, I remember music, right? Like music therapy. So
Yeah.
sis, that I mean, nothing wrong with health management, right? Because we got to take care of people. But I remember music being something very core to you. So how is that still being integrated in your life with the major change?
Okay. So I'm actually trying to find my way back to that, if that makes sense. In this day and age, like most models are not just models. Everyone is a Renaissance woman or a Renaissance man. They have their hand in a million different pots, and it works for them. Like when you get booked, they often ask you, "So what else do you do besides modeling?" So I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of get back to things that I love, which is music and singing. But essentially, I just changed my major because COVID kind of stunted some collegiate growth for me, and I needed to graduate. I needed to
Look,
graduate, and
yeah. You
yeah,
ready to
and
get out? You ready to get out? I did this. I changed my major too to
yeah,
get out. I went from an MIS major, which is management information systems, to and information studies, which was just easier. And I just wanted to get out. Yeah.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where it is. I needed to get out. I'm like spending a lot of money staying in. So yeah, and then knowing me is to know that I have the full intent to make modeling work for me when school is over. However, I do believe in security and financial stability, and this degree will help me, kind of essentially do what I'm doing now. So I'm in college, and any break I get, I'm coming to work. I'll be out of college working a job that can financially support me while I am modeling, unless I don't have to do so. But I don't see any shame in that. It's what a lot of us do. And yeah, so.
No, and I'm glad that you brought that up. And we got a couple of more people that have tuned in. Hey, Dee, I see you. Nikita, I see you. Ari, I see you. Thank you all for tuning in. So this is something very real that Jeyza is talking about, because when you look at Instagram, when you look at the modeling world, you think, models are doing this full time. Now, there are models that are modeling full time, but at the same time, this is a career where you may get a job every several months or whatever it may be. So what are you doing in between time? And I'm glad that Jeyza also brought up the Renaissance model, because at a lady named Pearl Leadership Academy, that's why I'm so thankful I'm connected to Jeyza, is because we focus on that, modeling leadership and entrepreneurship. because I know when I was really, really diving into modeling and being in Miami, since we're being transparent, let me just tell you in Miami how the modeling world is, right? Like, it's crazy. You know, all these girls are trying to, you know, carry the lifestyle. So starting your own business or getting a degree that'll, you know, help you maintain your lifestyle is super, 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 super important. So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, Jeyza. And then another thing that it's making me think about is just when people make decisions to go after their dreams, and how do you do that? You know, because you're responsible for your dream. So, you know, there's some people that do a deep dive in. I was actually talking to one of my friends last night, and she was talking about a girl that left college to pursue to become a makeup artist. And everybody was looking at her like, you about to leave school to become a makeup artist? Now she has her own agency. She has major clients, but there's a journey to every decision you make, right? There's a journey to every decision you make. Okay. So this beautiful skin that you have, Jeyza, that's just I love your beauty. Tell us about your skin. Tell us, give us kind of a foundation of it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was born with a genetic and very rare skin condition called lamellar It causes, well, the last layer of my skin essentially didn't shed at birth. So every 10 to 12 days, I will have stints of clarity where my skin will shed and then come back, and I'll shed and come back. And it's been doing that for almost 24 years. So it's, there's not a cure for it, but I do take medicine that kind of slows down the production so that I can have these moments of clarity. But yeah, it's unique in it of itself. And it kind of just does its own thing, and I do my own thing, so it works. And yeah, I guess.
So tell us, you know, because we also focus on confidence, Jeyza, and when I see your photos, I see, you know, just a confident embodying all of me. What does the word confidence mean to you? But actually, before I ask that, tell me about your experience with the world. Because I remember when we last talked, you told me a story about, you know, I don't know if it was kindergarten or if it was, you know, first grade, but kind of give us an idea of how the world, you know, took on your beauty and how you were able to embrace it.
That's good. I like how you worded that, because there will be a million perspectives that people have of you. And ultimately, the one that's the most important is the one that you have of yourself. I believe that we teach people how to view us, how to see us, right? And if you don't have a strong opinion of self, a strong knowledge of self, we'll just accept whatever's said or whatever is assumed about us. So for me, like I mentioned, this is something that was a constant since birth. So I wasn't necessarily the one that had to get used to it. Everyone else was. And in my home, I was always safe, I guess, because my family was learning and growing and adapting to the newness that was me day to day. So there was a sense of normalcy in the dynamic, right? And then we go to school, public school, and I'm seeing all these faces I don't see on a daily basis. And they're telling me I look different. And I'm like, oh, I do? I do, you know? And that took a while to navigate, I guess, because when you know one thing for so long and someone tells you something different, and I was young, so I don't necessarily, I can't really say I was super secure in what I did know at the time. I was easily swayed. But I say around high school, really around high school, 10th grade, I kind of just like, something snapped. I was like, yo, I'm going to this school. No one is like, oh, that's Jeyza with the skin. Everybody's like, oh, that's Jeyza, and she sings, and she's in all of the choir things. She makes me laugh. She's funny, you know. There were so many other adjectives to describe me that didn't involve physicality. And I feel like that's important. Sometimes we equate confidence and beauty to everything that you can see. But I believe confidence is a little more skin deep. Because if you're presenting one way and your heart doesn't reflect that, your inner man doesn't reflect that, you'll be able to see the cracks, you know, you'll be able to see the flaws. So I think confidence for me and finding confidence just came when I matched up what was inside with what I have going on outside. So,
That's so powerful. That's so powerful, Jason. The reason why I said that's so powerful, because I feel like we live in such an image conscious world where the focus is the outside. How can I do this with social media? How can I do that? And we forget about the beauty, working on the beauty inside first, right? Yeah. So when it comes to confidence, it's working from the inside out.
right. Absolutely.
Having a relationship with yourself, loving yourself, and then presenting yourself to the world as is, right? And you'll find your tribe. So you have to, I was searching for one of your videos, Jeyza, because I want to show some of the students, you in action. So let me go ahead and share this screen really quickly. All right. Hold on one second. All right, students. So this is the amazing Jeyza. And as you can hear already, she is full of wisdom. Okay, let me open this up. All right, so this is a video.
It would just be very painful.
Of Jeyza.
I do have a skin condition that's very real, but I don't want it to be the focus of everything that I do. I don't see myself as a victim, but a victor. Today, I am shooting for Glamour magazine, and this is the first time I will be producing a shoot on my own. My skin hates this weather. I have a skin condition called lamellar ichthyosis, and it comes from an abnormal chromosome gene. And essentially, I didn't shed my last layer of skin when I was born, so every 10 to 12 days, my body does that. Now, if I didn't take my medicine, my skin would kind of get really thick and painful, but eventually it would begin to shed all over again because the medicine stays in my bloodstream for a really long time. I use Aquaphor on my skin mostly because it helps protect it and it keeps it moisturized. If my skin wasn't moisturized, I would crack apart and it would bleed and it would just be very painful. So it kind of helps me out. With ichthyosis, I don't sweat at all, so I'm at risk for heat stroke. So I try and stay in climate controlled areas so that I can prevent anything like that happening. I was diagnosed with my condition when I was a small child. From kindergarten to 6th grade, my mom would come in on the first day of school and she'd talk to the students about my condition, how it isn't contagious, give everybody the facts that they need to be informed, including the teachers as well. The response was like silence, but I think they heard. Now, whether they decided to be empathetic or understanding is something else, but I know that she was heard. She'd even like pull my arm up and, demonstrate, just really make it an interactive experience so that the children can truly understand what I go through. I am so glad my mom did that. She was teaching them, but it was also teaching me. It was affirming something within me. Every time I'd hear, my child can do everything that you guys could do. My child is normal. I realized I'm normal and not anybody else's definition of normal, but just normal. So I'm really grateful for that. I opened my high school yearbook and I noticed a comment from a classmate. I was talking about how much I make her laugh and smile, and she put, "P.S. You need to model." And like I looked at it and it looked at me and I was like, this could work. This could work. So I decided to get together with somebody and shoot some digitals, basic digitals to submit to agencies. And the rest is kind of history. So today I am shooting for Glamour magazine, and this is the first time I will be producing a shoot on my own. I have a team of creatives that are there to help me bring my vision to life, so that's really, really good. But this is new. It's different. Okay, so this is the space. Hey. Good to see you. Hey. The look I'm going for today's shoot is really 70s. I am in love with everything about the 70s.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly. My eyes went with this one?
No, right beside it.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Just everything about it personifies my personality. So I thought that would be a good touch.
Ooh, it is. Look at this.
Wow.
Work.
The texture of her skin is what is really interesting to me, and it shows up really beautifully on camera. There's so much to look at.
I love that one. I thought today's shoot went really well. I love the atmosphere, and I liked all the cool pieces I got to wear. I felt really like cool. And I'm excited for everybody else to see it as well. I'm able to use my platform as a way to raise awareness, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart as well. There has been so much love shown to me ever since I got into modeling from people with the same condition as me, and it genuinely blew my mind. I've never been a person to look at myself like a victim, but more as a victor. I'm proud of me. I really am. Like, if I think about it, I can't even imagine who I'd be if I didn't have my skin condition. I think I'd be like uncool. I'd like everyone watching this to be bold and courageous and always push past limitations, because normally that's when the magic happens.
All right. And come through, abs. Come through, abs. Okay. Okay. Jeyza, there's so much in that video. I should have been writing notes. Students, feel free to ask any questions as we're going through. Man, manifestation. That's the word that's coming in my head, Jeyza. Manifestation from, the note in the yearbook that spoke to you taking digitals, to manifesting. What can you say about manifestation? And do you feel that you were a part of making that happen? Or let's talk about that, because we all have visions, goals, and dreams and different things like that. So how did you make that vision happen?
So watching that back was like such a cute little reminder. I was smiling the whole time because I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. For one, I'm so grateful that that's where I got to start. Many people don't even get to start like right there. And that was essentially at the beginning of everything, and then seeing how I've evolved now, it's just so grateful. I'm grateful. So for me, I think I'm very connected to God personally. And I know everybody may not be, but in my personal opinion, I feel like sometimes things are hidden away for you until you really need them. And for me, I was just taking pictures in high school because I'm 6 feet tall, slim. I thought it was cute. And it was fun to do. Like, it was really fun to do. I was just doing it to do it, not because like, oh, I want to be a model. And I had just got to college. Now, this is a story that we remember. So for all the new students, I had just got to college in 2019. And I was a music therapy major at the time. I went to sing. Within the first few weeks, I was told something was wrong with my voice and I needed to go and seek out an ENT. So what should have been 2 weeks of vocal rest essentially ended up being a year. And music was always something that I did right. It was perfect. I didn't have to guess it. It just worked. It just worked. And that was the first time in my life it did it. So call me extra or deep or girly, but I opened my yearbook. I don't even know what I was searching for. And that note from my friend, that note from God, by way of my friend, set me right where I was. And it was like, wow. And this kind of circles back to the Renaissance thing, because initially I was just a musician, just a singer. And now I had something else I could focus my efforts on. Because, I believe if you grasp too tight, sometimes things will elude you, especially in this industry. If you're pushing so hard, sometimes it's going to feel like it doesn't work out. So there is nothing wrong with fallback plans or other interests, side hobbies, because that keeps the momentum in a good place. That keeps you in a good place. It keeps you busy in other areas where this one may not work out for another 6 to 9 months, So for me, I believe that once I seen it, I did believe that. I believed that I could do it. Everything that was said in the yearbook, I was like, you're not lying. Okay, so let me try. Like, literally everything I said in the video was so true. And then I just kind of went after it. I talked to my grandparents and I was like, hey, y'all, so this is what I want to do. They were like, well, are you going to finish school? Yeah, I'm going to finish school. That's all they needed to hear. That's all they needed to hear. And I just kind of went after it. And I believe when something is right, it'll pursue you too. But I wasn't on the pursuit alone, and I feel like that's why it flowed, because you look at people, it's not that easy. When I tell you by the grace of God, it just feels like everything fell in my lap, one thing after another, one thing after another. And then obviously COVID happened and kind of halted some things. But when I really put stuff into perspective, because I deal with oh my gosh, I was so busy and now I'm a little still right now. But when I go back and look at how it started for me and the ease that was there, it's a reminder that it's all worth it. And I'm not out of place. So yeah.
You definitely not out of place, sis. Definitely. You're an inspiration. And when I think about your singing, I'm like, well, the modeling is just going to complement the singing anyway, because your album covers need to be dope. All your marketing needs to be dope. So it's like, it's what you're supposed to do. It's going hand in hand from my perspective, Yes. So I have to apologize to the students. I guess YouTube has some type of thing, because as soon as we started playing the video, Jeyza, YouTube suspended the stream. So now it's back on. So you all, what I'm going to do is, students, I'm going to email you the video. The video showed her Glamour UK cover shoot that she did, digital cover shoot. And then shortly after that, students, she got a national campaign with Target. She did some sexy lingerie stuff for Fenty, just some stuff that I saw online. So, and then we're talking about how life takes you in ebbs and flows, and there's a season for everything. So, I think it might be a season for writing right now, Jeyza. That's goodness. Just my thought.
Yeah.
It
It's
might
not
be
the
a
first
season.
time I heard that.
It might be a season for writing. Okay, so when we talk about the glamour, the Target campaigns and so forth, and then the agency that you're with, We Speak Models. Let's talk about how the industry has evolved, modeling has evolved, being more inclusive when it comes to diversity, size, all of those different things. How do you feel about that movement? And how do you see yourself continuing to push it forward, regardless of any brand, outside brands? How do you see yourself, moving that forward?
Well, simply put, I think that the effort is commendable, and there is still such a long way to go. And that's just being honest. There is so much more inclusion, and there's still many more things that we need to be able to include that haven't been included yet. There are some spaces that I find myself desiring to be in, that are not exactly or they're not seemingly ready for me just quite yet. So I may fit all the other molds, I may check all the other boxes, but how I present may just be a little bit different for them. And that doesn't scare me at all. When you are the first of anything, it's going to feel like a big feat. But all the people that come after you will just have it a little bit easier. And if I have to take the brunt of that so that 10, 15 years down the line, someone else doesn't have to, I'll eat it. I will gladly, because I know it won't be in vain, and a win for one is definitely a win for all. So I think that, like I mentioned, I mean, it's came such a long way. You see, body inclusivity, more skin tones are being represented, more skin variances. So you have people with freckles, you have people like me, or people with psoriasis. So there's little tiny shifts, albeit subtle at times. The people who don't see themselves represented notice it, and it definitely matters.
It does.
Oh yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I feel a book, Jeyza, like a book coming out of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a beauty book, something beauty. Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is a question from Dominisha. Do you have any short-term and long-term goals at the moment?
Okay. Hi, Dominisha. I like that question because if it's not evolving, something isn't clicking. So how I would have answered that the last model talk, I wouldn't answer it the same way now. In about 5 years, long term, I see myself probably in New York, or just getting ready to move out of New York, out west. So that's for sure. As soon as I graduate, I definitely plan to move. And I see myself working in the industry. What I didn't mention earlier, but just kind of came to mind, is the industry seems to care less and less about age. I got a late start. I didn't start till I was like 21. And now I'm 23, about to be 24. And you see models like Precious Lee and Paloma Essler. And they are at the end of their 20s and beginnings of their 30s, and they're model of the year. And when I tell you, that provided me so much comfort and peace.
Yes.
Because it seems like we're always on a time clock. We're on a time limit. There's nothing to be on that for. So in 5 years, I just see myself doing what I love. I don't want to limit it to one thing or another. But I do have some short-term goals that I know I want to take place. So like I mentioned, I'm in New York now, updating my port as a talent that gets booked strictly off of their portfolio. Um, update pictures like every 4 months. I haven't updated them since last summer. So I've had, I think, 5 shoots so far, and I came to New York for 9 days. I have 2 more tomorrow. We're done. And I'm revamping my whole book with the full intent of booking things. I've shot things for e-com. I want to do a little bit more e-com. It's fun. It's fun. And usually for the working models, that's what pays the bills. E-com. So, yeah.
Like, yes.
That's what kind of carries you. If you decide, hey, I want to do this full time, and you want to be high fashion, you're probably booking jobs like Nike and different smaller scale jobs that aren't necessarily high fashion, but definitely front your bills and front all the other costs that you need, and to get you experience too. It shows that versatility. So I definitely want to do that. I want to work with Savage X Fenty. Like, I'm sure of it. I'm so sure of it. And I just took some really cool photos today that I'm pretty sure are going to work out in my favor. So I'm just going to say it now so I can go back and look at this and cry like a baby when it happens.
And watch my head going back and forth like, get it, sis.
But yeah, I definitely want to work with Savage X. In the near future, I want to do brands like Nike and Old Navy. And I want to do Forever 21. So, fun story. Maybe not fun. I was working at Forever 21 last year. And every time I walked in, I seen a model that I knew on the billboards.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Every time I see, and it inspired me so much. Like, yeah, every time I walked in to make what I was making, I knew ultimately, yeah, this is not my home because I'm going to be I'm going to be doing this. And I booked a job while I was there for a major skincare brand. And I had to choose between my job and going to work for this brand. And I chose the brand.
Hello.
I did because that's ultimately what I want to do.
That's your goal, right? Forever 21 will be there, or other jobs will be there. Yeah.
It's definitely what I wanted to do. My grandparents supported me wholeheartedly. I had another job the next week too, by the way, but still, I want to book Forever 21 so I can go back and it will all kind of make sense. It'll be a full circle for me. I love those full circle moments, right?
I do too.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. So that's the hope for me.
Okay. She gave us some good stuff, you all. Now, what I want to share is Jeyza just gave me a moment. Well, she's been giving but there's been some interviews that I've been doing in the past. And one thing that I almost feel like Oprah, like one thing that's been consistent with these interviews that I hear is they say they speak it and then it happens. You get what I'm saying? Like, so when you said that Fenty Savage piece, I was thinking about you all, Jennifer Sutton's interview, the first one we did this year, and how she said that Art Mezzo was based off of her saying what she was going to do prior to even manifesting. So I already see you, Fenty. You're going to kill it. You're going to kill it. You're going to kill it. And then the Forever 21, boom, boom, boom. But that's Fenty Savage. You're going to kill that one. You're going to kill it. You're going to kill it.
Kill it. And it goes back to something that you said earlier. I've already seen glimpses of it. So I shot with, who was that here in New York? Baby House, New York. And they sent us Savage pieces to shoot it. Savage sent it to us to shoot in specifically for me and the other model. And that was at the beginning of my career. So I'm like, if that happened, Who am I not to believe that it can actually happen and I could get a direct booking? I'm not like, yeah, okay. If I can have a piece, I can have the whole pie. And that belief in yourself, I've always said this, like, if you just have belief in yourself a little bit more than you trust the doubt and the naysayers and the unbelief, and you trust a little more than you trust reality. Because let's be real, sometimes life will be screaming, this is not safe. This is not safe. Do something safe, please. Okay. And you just have to tune that out a little bit. I don't mind being transparent. I will come to New York with money to work, go back to Charlotte poor and happy because I'm doing something that I love. Yeah. And also because I know it's temporary. And when you know that you're investing in good stuff and solid and fertile ground, you don't have a problem doing that. I'll bleed my account dry every chance I get to do what I love because I know that it's going to work out. And that's just how I think.
Jeyza, let me tell you, because I'm now, but when I was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, getting into the industry, same thing. It was like intuition was carrying me or something spiritual. I would get on a plane. You get what I'm saying? And they're like, where are you going? What are you doing? It was God. It was just God moving me. Next thing you know, Ebony Fashion Fair, boom, this, that. But it was just all off of intuition and blocking out, just having belief in yourself. And it may look weird from the outside world, but it was like God was just moving me. And I didn't even think twice about it. I would just go. Then they say the older you get, you start to second guess yourself, I guess, because you have more responsibilities and so forth. But I think at any time you can capture your dream and believe in yourself. But Jeyza, you're doing it. Follow your intuition.
Definitely.
And you already doing. You don't need to hear from me.
Definitely. No, I expect it. That's definitely the truth. I will go, the term step out on faith needs to be my middle name. Like, yes. I can just figure out a plane ticket. And by the time I set the dates to go, I have the money for the hotel. Things it will just work out. And when I tell you, I have such supportive family. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get on so I can just bless them like crazy. I have such supportive family and friends too. And that's what lets me keep hope. Like, I remember last year, I was supposed to be graduating last summer. That didn't happen. Well, this coming up summer. And last summer I lost my grandma, and I experienced a lot of changes in life that I didn't know how to navigate, on top of navigating this big news that I wasn't graduating, right? Mm-hmm. And my grandpa, I'm just about to put this on the shelf. I don't want to do this anymore, right? Like, I'm about to put this on the shelf. I'm just going to focus on school, because it's almost 2022, COVID slowed me down on this. My grandpa got me absolutely together. He was like, hey, now, I'm gonna just tell you this. That is not the truth. Okay? It's gonna come back around, and when it do, you need to be ready. Amen. So Amen. I didn't want to go to New York last September. I went. And I shot a campaign while I was here. And I never would have did that if I listened to myself. To doubt and to have unbelief is human. So I don't want it to be misunderstood. Mm-hmm. It's human and it's okay. Sometimes you just have to remember your why, and you have to remember what you want to do and what you want to see change, and you'll get your head back in the game. So yeah.
Shout out to Grandpa. Is it Grandpa Gary?
Oh, Barber. Yep. Mr. Charlie.
Okay.
Him and my
Okay. Mr. Charlie, shout out to you. And I'm sorry you said somebody else, Jeyza.
my grandma.
And grandma, heavenly grandmother, right? Heavenly grandmother, the one that transitioned.
Her and Charlie's wife, Patricia. Yeah.
And Charlie's wife, Patricia. Okay, shout out to you all. Thank you for keeping the young queen princess in check. Y'all see the vision. And that's what we need sometimes, right? To say, hey, wait a minute. I know it's challenging, but this is who you are. And don't forget, and don't forget it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's the best advice you would give to aspiring models when it comes to photo shoots and working on set?
Okay. The best advice is pretty simple. Be your authentic self. You get booked and be booked off of who you are. Now, I don't want it to be misunderstood. You can advocate for yourself on set, and there will be times that you need to. But make sure you are thoughtful and articulate with the things that you say, and it'll take you far. It'll definitely take you far. I realized that having good energy on set. I was on set today, and the photographer said something. They were like, in New York, talent means nothing. It's all about your energy. It's all about what you have inside, because that's what shows up. If you're talented and you're unkind, people are not going to work with you, and that will be how you're remembered. If you have a little bit of ways to go and you still have some development, but you have the best spirit and the best energy, people are going to work with you again. Absolutely. They're going to want to foster your growth. So that would definitely be it when it comes to being on set for photo shoots. Be your authentic self. Don't be afraid to try things. If it looks weird or feels weird to you, it probably looks great on photos. So just do it. Try and be as out of your mind, out of your head as you can. Just be in the moment. Don't be like, oh my gosh, what if? No what ifs. Just go for it, and it will definitely pay off.
All right. Next question is from Nikita. So we heard some of the campaigns you want to do. Are there any models that you would like to model with?
Ooh, some models that I would like to model.
Yes, models that you would love to work with. That was her question.
Okay. The last time you asked me this question, I feel like my answer hasn't changed. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that's bad. For me personally, I would like to work with the newer version of myself all the time. For my own safety, I don't really focus too much on other models. I'm inspired by what they do in their work and their art. But I don't ever think so deeply that I'm like, I wish I could do what they do or do it with them. Maybe one day that'll come, but I just want to compete with the last version of myself that was on camera. I think that works for me, and it stops the culture of comparison. We have a lot of that.
Yes.
What's wrong with wanting to work with other models that you adore and like? So let me say that. I just found for me, because I am so unique and a one of one in this industry, a lone fish, a lone wolf, if you will. I find that looking at yesterday's version of myself and competing with that works best for me, because there really is no comparison yet for me. I can't be like, hey, oh my gosh, that person is just like me. I want to do, I'm just out here on my own right now. And I know it won't be like that for long, but yeah. So that's the most honest answer I can give.
There you go. Look, she wants to work with the next version of herself, right? Continue to evolve. Naomi Campbell would be mine, Nikita. I have admired her for a long time, and I would love to shoot with her. But I understand exactly where Jeyza is coming from. All right, you all. So we are wrapping up. If you have any questions, make sure you get them in. My last question to Jeyza, if I don't see any other ones pop up, I want to make sure. You've given us so many pearls of wisdom. Is there one that you want to close us? And wait, first, before I even do that, first of all, thank you for being you. Thank you for being authentic. Thank you for being wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to connect with you without us physically. I can't wait till we meet in person.
I know,
Yes. So thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for this platform. What you're doing is really amazing, and I'll always support that. Atlanta, that's where you guys are, right?
Yes.
Up the street from Charlotte. So I need to take a visit.
Yes. Yes, Jeyza, we're doing a leadership expo in August. I would love for you to come and be my guest. I would love for you to.
Let me know.
Okay.
It will happen. The more, the better. I really appreciate what you're doing, and I think it was kind of good for me too that you double back and said, "Hey, let's check in with Jeyza now." You know, because there were reminders and pearls of wisdom for myself within this talk. You know, and I really, 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 really appreciate it. I just do.
Yes. And I just want you to know, as the founder and the leader of this organization, you have your family supporting you, but don't let me get emotional.
Oh.
You also have us supporting you as well. So, just know, I'm rooting for you. And because I'm the founder and the leader of this, I'm going to continue to tell them about you so that, they see greatness, from the inside and outside. So if there is a pearl of wisdom that you can close us out with, what would that be?
I think this is just a constant for me and in this season of my life. Remembering your why is what's going to create a culture or a dynamic of longevity. It's so easy to get defeated. It is like you'll go from booking jobs consistently to once every 7 or 8 months. If you remember the reason why you started, and the reason why you started is solely for you, and it's something strong enough to carry you through, you'll have a great, long-lasting career. I'd also say don't focus too much on how things seem to be working out for other people. Because Instagram and social media is a highlight reel. And we only show the good parts. We never show the bad parts, okay? We never show the bad parts. And I'm reminded of, I believe it was Bella Hadid, sometime last year. She talked about how depressed she was and how much of a toll the work that she does takes on her. She's constantly booking work. We're always seeing her booking work, right? But at the core, she was unhappy. And that put so much in perspective for me, because we're always like, oh, well, when we get here, we'll be happy. Or when we get here, it'll be good. It'll be good. New levels, different stresses, honestly. So I say take joy in what feels like the valley. Find some joy there, because when you do start climbing the ladder, you'll be able to withstand all the hits and the bumps and the bruises. It's not an easy career, but you're doing it. You're in a great school with a great leader that loves and cares about you all. And that in itself is a gift. So stay encouraged. And just trust and believe in yourself a little bit. Yeah. That's all I would say.
And with that being said, you all, I am going to leave it right there. Thank you, Jeyza. Miss Gary for being a guest on our Model Talk Thursdays. I look forward to her being at our Leadership Expo. You all, we're going to manifest that, students. And you all tune in for another edition of Model Talk Tuesdays. They can follow Jeyza and Jeyza, could you please give your Instagram?
Instagram is lyrically diverse. Hence the music. I've never changed it yet. And I don't think I will because everybody knows it. So lyrically diverse is my Instagram, and y'all are more than welcome to follow me. DM me, let me know where you're from. I'll definitely be sure to follow you all back and follow your journeys. I follow a few people from a lady named Pearl, and to see how they've taken off has been really encouraging too. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, just the students, Coco saying thank you, Dominisha, Yvonne, Nikki. All right. Okay, Jeyza, I will talk to you later. See you soon. See you in August. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.